Hi there. You're listening to English Podcast for Beginners, your friendly guide to learning English step by step. Let's learn, practice, and grow together.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the engine room of communication.
We are.
We've got a fantastic mission from you, our listener, which is to explore what turns, just correct words into really natural, fluid English. We're trying to move past the flashcards, past the vocabulary lists, and into the rhythm that really makes a conversation, sing.
It's probably the most common barrier to fluency, and it's sort of hidden in plain sight.
Yeah.
So many learners, they focus so hard on grammar, on vocabulary, which is, it's essential, of course.
Of course.
But they completely miss the foundational beat. The sources we're looking at, they all focus on this secret rhythm of English conversations, and they make it really clear. Fluency isn't just about what you say.
It's how you say it.
It's knowing how and when to say it, exactly.
Absolutely. And think about it. You can know every single word in a sentence, but if a native speaker says it really fast, it just feels like a blur of sound.
A wash of sound, yeah.
Right. And why is that? It's because the rhythm is a package deal. It's timing, it's stress, it's those intentional little pauses. It's the emotion.
The music of it.
The music of it. If you're trying to dance without hearing the music, you're just not going to get it.
That's the perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And if you want smoother, more natural communication, we have to start there, with that rhythm.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with the absolute foundation, the actual beat of the language.
Right.
Because English has this unique flow. It creates it through contrast, right? Not all syllables are equal. What is that contrast?
It's this dynamic interplay between strong beats and weak beats.
Okay.
Imagine a language that's always shifting between, loud, longer sounds and these short, almost whispered sounds. That variation is everything. The strong beats carry the meaning, and the weak beats are just there to connect them, and they move really fast.
Yeah.
The whole structure is built to keep the time between those strong beats basically the same.
That's fascinating. So it's almost like the music is more important than the number of syllables?
That's a great way to think about it.
So which words get the spotlight? Which ones are the strong beats?
They're the content words. These are the bricks, the meaning.
Nouns, verbs.
Exactly. Nouns, main verbs, adjectives, adverbs. The words you can't take out of the sentence without losing the core message.
Right.
And when we speak, we just naturally hold them a little longer, say them a little louder.
And if those are the bricks, what's the mortar? All those little connecting words.
They become the weak beats, the function words.
The.
All those little guys. And crucially, they get reduced. They don't just get quieter. Their vowel sound gets squashed into this, what we call the schwa sound.
Ooh.
Just a quick And that reduction is the secret. It really is.
And that's where so many learners get stuck. They try to pronounce to as this really clear, strong T-O-O every single time.
Yes.
When really most of the time is just tuh. So trying to say every word perfectly, actually, it works against the flow.
It completely fights the natural rhythm. If you say, I am going to the store, stressing every word, it just sounds heavy. It sounds unnatural.
Choppy.
Very choppy. Now compare that to the natural way. I'm going to the store.
Right. Go and store are the two beats.
They're the beats. And the time between them stays the same, even though we basically dropped 3 syllables of sound in between.
So the big takeaway here for you listening is that learning the weak forms is just as critical as learning the strong words. If you can anticipate where the stress is going to be, your comprehension just shoots up.
It's like having a roadmap for listening. Your brain knows where to find the important information.
Okay, so once we get that beat down, the strong and weak structure, the next thing that makes it human is, timing, the pacing.
The power of the pause.
Right, the power of the pause. Let's talk about that.
Pauses are so misunderstood. I think a lot of learners are afraid of them.
Yeah, they think it means you're hesitating or you don't know the word.
Exactly. So they rush, they just cram all the words together. And ironically, that makes them much harder to understand. But what the source material shows is that intentional pauses are like the punctuation of spoken English. They're a feature, not a bug.
But what about that fear, that practical fear that if I pause, someone's just going to jump in and take over the conversation?
It's a valid concern. And that's why we have to separate, hesitation pauses, the ums and ons, from structural pauses.
Okay, what's a structural pause?
It's when you pause to chunk information together. You might pause after a long subject or right before a word like but or before you add extra information. It just gives the listener a second to process what you just said.
So don't think of it as empty space. Think of it as a breath mark. It groups your ideas.
Precisely. Like if I say, the report that my team spent 3 weeks on, and then I pause,
A little breath.
a little breath, yeah,
Yeah.
was finally approved.
Uh,
That pause is essential. Without it, it's just one big, long, overwhelming sentence.
that totally flips the idea on its head. It's not about being fast, it's about being clear. So practicing where to put these short little pauses actually makes you sound smarter, not slower.
It gives everyone breathing room, you and the listener, and it's often connected to the strong beats we were just talking about.
Yeah.
A bunch of strong beats together almost demands a pause right after.
It all connects. Which brings us to the third pillar. And this is where it gets really interesting. Intonation. We've got the drum beat, we've got the timing. Now we have the melody, how your voice rises and falls.
This is the layer that communicates your intent, your attitude. It's the difference between asking a question and showing you're totally shocked,
Right. If you have flat intonation, you could have perfect grammar, but you just sound
bored, or uncertain. Getting this right makes you sound so much more confident and engaged.
So the basic rule everyone learns is, rising for questions, falling for statements. But we need to go a little deeper. What are the nuances here?
Well, the falling intonation is standard for statements, right?
Yeah.
I finished the project. That drop signals your final.
Okay.
But rising intonation does more than just ask yes/no questions. It has this really important other job.
And that is?
It's for checking for agreement and for lists.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so if you make a statement but you're a little unsure, or you want to see if the other person agrees, your pitch goes up at the end. Like, they're leaving now.
Okay. The words are a statement, but the sound is a question.
It's a request for confirmation. If you don't use that rise, you can sound like you're arguing when you're actually just trying to check something.
That's a really subtle but powerful tool. If I say, they are leaving now with fall, it's just information.
Right.
But with the rise, I'm inviting you to respond. I'm showing a little surprise.
Exactly. And there's lists. When you list things, your pitch rises on every single item except for the very last one.
Okay.
We need milk, eggs, and bread. Rise, rise, fall. That pattern is a signal to the listener that says, hey, more is coming.
That makes so much sense. So if you use a falling tone on each word, the listener might think you're finished after every item.
They might interrupt you, yeah. It prematurely ends the thought.
This all connects to a more advanced idea, which is contrastive stress. This is where you intentionally break the rules to change the meaning.
Yes. This is where it gets really fun. High-level fluency. Normally, you'd stress the content words, but what if I say, I did not steal the report?
You're really denying the action itself.
Right. But if I shift that stress, I didn't steal the report.
Now the meaning is somebody else did it, but not me.
Precisely. The words are identical, but the rhythm, the stress, the intonation, it changes the entire message. That's the ultimate proof that rhythm is meaning.
Okay, we've covered the beat, the timing, and the melody. Now the most important part, what do you actually do about it?
Right. The actionable steps.
What can you start using today to get this into your muscle memory?
Well, we need things that train your mouth and your ears, not just your brain. And the #1 technique from the source material is shadowing.
Shadowing. People have heard of it, but how do you do it right?
You have to do it differently. Most people wait for the speaker to finish a sentence.
And then they repeat it.
Yes.
Yeah.
For this, you need to be repeating almost at the same time, maybe half a second behind the speaker. The goal isn't to memorize the words.
It's to match the flow.
It's to match the flow, the sound, the muscle movements. Start with really short clips, maybe just a couple of sentences, and do it again and again, like 10 or 20 times, until you can feel that rhythm in your own throat.
It's literally borrowing their motor skills for rhythm. I like that. What's number 2?
Use music. But again, don't just listen to the lyrics. Find music with a really strong, clear beat. Pop, some rap. The singers have to fit the important words onto the beat, so you can really hear the strong stress patterns clearly. It helps you internalize that strong, weak dynamic without even thinking about it.
I've noticed if I slow down a song, you can really hear where the words get reduced, where its singer just glides over a preposition to hit that next big beat.
It makes it so concrete. And the third technique is what we'll call flow practice. You take one common sentence, something like, I'm going to have to decide later.
Okay.
And you mark the stress words, I'm going to have to decide later. And you just repeat that over and over, focusing only on the rhythm, not the meaning. Just the sound for 5 minutes.
The point here, and it's a vital one, is that the goal isn't to sound perfect. There's no such thing.
No.
The goal is to feel comfortable with the natural flow. When you're comfortable, it stops being a performance and starts being a conversation.
And it's a skill you build with physical practice,
Mm.
not just by reading a book. It's like learning to ride a bike. Your muscles have to learn the movement.
Okay, let's bring this all home. Let's tie it back to the main goal for so many people, which is just understanding things better, comprehension.
This is the biggest payoff of all.
So how does mastering rhythm help you understand a conversation in, say, a noisy room or a fast movie?
It gives you a massive advantage. Your brain stops trying to catch and decode every single syllable.
That internal roadmap we talked about.
Exactly. You start listening for the rhythm.
Yeah.
You anticipate where the strong beats are going to land. When a native speaker talks fast, those weak words just kind of blur together.
They almost disappear.
They do. And if you expect them to disappear, you don't waste mental energy trying to hear them. You just focus on the stressed words,
Yeah.
where all the key information is.
That's the ultimate learning hack, isn't it? You're not waiting for every word. You're anticipating the important ones.
It's a huge leap in efficiency.
We started this deep dive talking about how hard it is to get that final piece of fluency, but every one of these steps gets you closer.
It does. And as you get better, you go from just identifying rhythm to actually using it yourself, manipulating it, which leads us to the final thought for you to explore.
Okay, lay it on us.
So we know that rhythm and stress create meaning. For the next week, start listening for times when a speaker seems to put the stress in a weird place on purpose. For example, if someone says, "Well, I think that's a good idea," they're stressing think, not idea. What are they really saying?
They're not just agreeing. They might be suggesting they're not totally sure, or maybe someone else disagrees.
Exactly. That tiny shift in stress, that little manipulation of the rhythm, it completely changes the implied meaning of the entire sentence. Start listening for those intentional changes.
That's the next level.
That is the next level of understanding the flow.
An excellent piece of homework. Start listening for the beat, not just the words. Keep working on your flow, and we will see you on the next deep dive.
Until then, keep practicing your rhythm.